This next recipe we're going to show is called Delicious Oat Burgers.
For all you burger lovers out there.
That's for sure. It's very easy to do. Normally I would just put the pot on the stove. This has 8 cups of water in here. I'm just going to add the ingredients that we're going to bring to heat up on the stove, and we'll be putting the oats in later. So this is tamari, organic tamari. You'll want to watch our presentation on genetically modified ingredients, and that will give you the information as to why you want to use organic tamari. Here we've got some olive oil. Sorry, not olive oil, grapeseed oil.
It's grapeseed oil. We don't cook with olive oil.
Those can just sit there, that's fine. We've got some onion powder. We've got nutritional yeast flakes. If you're not familiar with what nutritional yeast flakes are, those are just a yellow colored flake, very high in all the B vitamins. We're going to put those in, give a nice cheesy flavor. We've got garlic powder and sage.
You know, people talk about the B vitamins quite a bit and how vegetarians don't get enough B12. You know, if a person is really healthy, your body makes vitamin B12 in the jejunum of the small intestine and in your mouth overnight. You have to ask yourself, where do all the animals get it from? Maybe our eating habits are preventing our bodies from producing the vitamin B12 we need.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this to the stove. We're going to heat this up, bring it to a boil. I'm going to add the oats, and then we're going to come right back and show you how to form these burgers. We put the liquid ingredients on the stove, brought those to a boil, and added our oats. So now we're going to form these into burgers. The easiest way I find is just to use a jar ring. This will make it easy for filling and making your burgers uniform.
But it's nicer if you can let it cool a little bit so you don't get your fingers too scalded while you're doing it.
I don't let it cool down too much, just for the reason, I'm going to get a smaller spoon here, for the reason that they do start to get a little bit stiff to work with.
Not as pliable.
So how do you enjoy these burgers?
Well, here's what I do. I take a nice slice of multigrain bread, and I put on that sachi inchi oil, and then I put avocado on there, and then a little bit of sea salt on the avocado. Then I put the burger on, and maybe I'll put some sprouts on top of that, or a piece of tomato, and just have it just like that. And sometimes I may use one of Jeannie's salad dressings or salad spreads and put that on top of the burger, like a cheese spread or something like that. And the taste is outrageous.
That's the cheddar cheese recipe that we used on the kale chips, which we showed earlier how to make.
Yeah, and it's delicious. And anybody who's had these burgers, we have what we call a healthy eating club in Bay St. Anne, where we have our center. And we get people from the community. They come, it's once a month they come. And with Jan, we have to run 2 sessions because people are so interested in what we're cooking, what we're making, and the raw foods. And when they tasted these burgers, they couldn't believe it. The one man said, I could give up burgers for this any day. It tastes so good, and it's good for you. It lowers cholesterol. It gives you a good satiety level, too. You feel good after you've eaten them.
They have a very meaty texture. They're very nice done either as a burger in a bun, as Rudy was talking about, in a sandwich, or they're very nice done in a casserole dish. I will put them into a casserole dish and do a mushroom gravy. They're very nice that way.
You could do that with a tomato sauce, too. Be delicious.
Yes, actually, some people that have taken the recipe and kind of experimented a bit with it, they've made it into meatloaf. I know we had one of our cleanse guests who enjoyed it so much, and she found a number of different ways to use it.
Well, you know, something that's very important that I wanted to mention. Whenever these recipes are put together, have you noticed that Jeannie's just dumping a bowl of this or some of this in? This is not something that she just says, oh, this looks about right. She takes and blends certain ingredients using tablespoon measures and teaspoon measures and 1 cup measures because of taking the things and putting them together to combine to make a certain kind of taste.
So you're saying to measure?
Yeah, to measure things is really important. If you get things out of whack, you can get a total different taste. And so you want to do it to taste. So now you can adjust this yourself too to make it taste however you want it to taste. But I'd recommend starting with the original recipe and then saying, okay, I've got everything down, taste it, and then say, oh, I'd like a little bit more of this in there. And then readjust it yourself.
One other idea, just to let you know with these burgers, is they freeze very, very well. So you can put them into the freezer.
She could make up a month's supply.
Well, our receptionist, her and her dad would do that. They would make up a large batch, put them into the freezer, and have them on hand. Then it makes it handy for you through the week or something when time is maybe a little bit harder to come by.
Yeah,
so
we
here,
look complete, huh?
here we have a pan of burgers. These are going to go into the oven now. They're going to bake at about 400 degrees. Again, you'll have to watch your oven temperature, but 350 to 400 degrees. Bake them for 15 minutes, then flip them over and bake them for another 15 minutes. They're going to brown up nicely, and you'll be able to see the finished product shortly.